everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Krion, your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a really special guest all the way out in Berlin, working on a really cool project, Spillworks, that I'm excited to learn more about. We have Adrian. How are you doing today?
Hi, Richard. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, excited to learn more about you and Spillworks. But before we do, let's start with some background about yourself.
So I have a background in mathematics and computer science. I used to work with the largest stock exchange operator in Germany, and was building markets for commodities mostly, huge systems that went on to trade hundreds of billions of volume later on. So I have a strong background in markets, and I have a natural interest in all things currencies and assets. So touching into the blockchain space was very natural for me.
For sure, man. And so coming from that,
move into that right away.
Oh, no doubt. And, with that background in basically traditional finance, what was that first introduction to crypto and blockchain? Like, at what point were you like, this looks like a pretty cool thing. I should probably look into it a little bit more.
That actually came from a totally different angle. I used to play online poker a lot during my studies during university. And the online poker community picked up Bitcoin very early on, right? So that was about late 2010, early 2011, I believe. And that was the first time I actually saw Bitcoin and got interested into it. But I never kind of gotten around really like diving deep back then. So only early 2013, it was the first time that I first bought Bitcoin. And then it never lost me again. So I kind of caught on.
For sure. Well, lucky that you got in early. Even, from online gambling, it's pretty cool that that was your first intro to the space, and, have steadily been more involved with Bitcoin. But like you said, you have a really robust experience within the financial aspects, being a market maker, dealing with billions of dollars. What caused the transition into getting more into the crypto blockchain focused area? Tell us about the journey to Spillworks.
So I actually left Deutsche Börse, the stock exchange operator, end of 2013 because I wanted to start my own thing. So I started a software company, and there we actually were talking a lot about blockchain and first Bitcoin, later Ethereum. I didn't really like Ethereum when I first saw it. I thought it wouldn't make sense. But I changed my mind over time when I saw kind of where the potential is. And so with that software company, we started professionally offering software development services on top of Ethereum back in 2016, right? And that brought us to all kinds of ICO clients in 2017 during the ICO craze, right? And that effectively then led us to, set up a separate company that would take care of all things blockchain. And this is what Spillworks is today, right? We were doing a little bit of consulting to find out kind of where the industries are that would have the highest potential of driving mass adoption of blockchain. And there we found out that gaming has among the highest potentials to
huge potential. Yeah.
Break through, right? And so that was when we started focusing on products, on first Wombat and then later Womplay, and kind of driving mass adoption of blockchain through gaming.
For sure. And it's interesting that you bring that up. So going through the ICO craze, helping different projects through consulting lens, but then also kind of pivoting more into the gaming aspects. Kind of walk us through of where Spillworks currently is. Is it that y'all are currently working on building out or onboarding a lot of gaming type of companies onto the platform? Do you have a different arms for different types of blockchain applications? Walk us through that.
So we have two products, essentially. One is Wombat, which is a wallet, kind of a dApp Explorer wallet, right? We're mostly focusing on EOS so far, but we're currently also building on top of Ethereum. And it's the largest EOS wallet in terms of signups and new accounts created in the last year. So that's one thing. And the other that we're actually using for onboarding hundreds of thousands or millions of users into the blockchain space is Womplay, which is a game reward platform that pays users with crypto, right? Wow. For playing games, for playing traditional mobile and desktop games. Right. So you basically just sign up on the platform, you download a few games, you get so-called Wombucks, which is our like intermediate currency, and that you can exchange for EOS or Bitcoin or NFTs or whatever else you like. And that way we have a very easy approach for like really a lot of users who like games to get into the crypto space. And we're basically the first touch point for a lot of those people with crypto. And this is our main focus, where we actually want to bring millions of users to crypto assets, into crypto assets, like using crypto, using blockchain through gaming in a kind of risk-free way, right? And for that, we're working with tons of game publishers who are interested in like also getting in touch with crypto and NFTs and stuff. And we're a very simple way of getting kind of onboarded into the crypto space.
For sure, man. And that's pretty amazing. Like I definitely want to spend time on both of those because they're both very unique. I want to first spend time on the wallet. So you chose EOS, right? Explain or help explain why you made that decision. And I can definitely understand why y'all are probably driving the most adoption for like having that as the basis, because a lot of these wallets are usually Ethereum based or really just Ethereum based, right? So how did y'all come up with that decision, and what has that transition like been like for y'all?
Yeah, so when we talked back in 2018, we're looking into the gaming space, right? And we're looking into blockchains that could actually drive that mass adoption. And when you look at gaming and millions of users, millions of simultaneous users who do a lot of transactions, we thought that Ethereum won't scale quickly enough to onboard millions of users and to actually cater for their transactions, right, in a fast way. So we were looking into alternatives to Ethereum back in 2018, and that was when EOS actually got launched, the EOS mainnet. And so we looked at that. It took a little while for it to become really stable, but then we realized that the UX of EOS is actually quite cool, especially for users who've never seen blockchain before, because transactions get confirmed very, very quickly. It kind of feels like it's synchronous, right? It takes like maybe half a second or a second to get an answer whether your transaction is executed or not. And transactions were really, really cheap, right? So we could actually afford to pay for these transactions for our users. All that we needed was very simple onboarding into EOS, because EOS has a few quirks when it comes to onboarding into the blockchain. You have to create an account. This costs a little money on the blockchain and so on. So we built a service around that to make it really simple. That allowed us to offer a very, very simple UX for all these first-time crypto users, right? And this is still something that EOS offers, and that's still very cool with EOS, because transactions are still fast, transactions are still cheap, right? And you can still kind of cover all that stuff without actually exposing users to it. So that was the main rationale behind choosing EOS. And but we always said that we want to go where kind of all the good content is and great like dApps, great assets. So this is why we're currently expanding into the Ethereum space and other blockchains as well.
For sure. Thanks for explaining that. It makes a lot of sense. And the fact that you had the foresight to try to create UI, UX that would make the onboarding so easy that anyone would be able to pick it up and use it and try to figure out those nuances for the end user is very important. And I think that is where adoption needs to continue to head, is to be innovative, to make it so anyone can pick this up without really realizing that necessarily that they're using crypto. And it sounds like that's something that you're heavily getting involved in, especially as we kind of talk about the other side of this, which is on the gaming space. So if I am a potential user that wants to come on, play the different games on my phone and then get rewarded in crypto, what does that process look like for me?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what we've been working on to make it super, super easy, right? So you go into Womplay.io, you sign up with your Google or Twitter or Facebook account, and in the background, we will create your blockchain account already for you, right? You won't even notice. All we need is basically your backup location. So we're using Google Drive or Dropbox to actually store your backup of your private key. It's encrypted, so it's secure and stuff. We do that and you don't even notice that you now onboarded into crypto space, and now you play a few games. They're just very traditional, usual, top-notch mobile games, right? You play them, you earn those $1, you redeem them for EOS or Bitcoin or whatever, right? And then you just download Wombat and you restore your backup in the app, and you can get going right away, right? So you then have your assets in your wallet, and you can get started. You have your account. You can start signing transactions on the blockchain immediately, right? So this is the user journey that we have. So we want to make it as easy as possible, specifically at the beginning, and then you get paid your rewards into your Wombat wallet immediately, and you can basically. There's nothing else you need to do. You need to take care of, right? You don't have to write down your recovery phrase, or you don't have to pay to create your account. It's all free, right? So this is supposed to be as simple as possible.
Yeah, it's very unique, and it's a model that I don't think I've heard yet on our show, and I think it's going to drive a lot of user adoption, which is pretty impressive. So with those kind of two products that you have going on right now, are those the two that are basically continue to move Spillworks forward? Do y'all have any other things that are in the pipeline that people might want to be aware of? Like what do y'all have brewing right now?
Yeah, so as we're paying crypto rewards for our users, that can, of course, be tokens, but that can, of course, also be NFTs, right? And through that, we are actually the first touch point for many of these game publishers that we work with, who provide the games for Womplay, right? They're like we have Lords Mobile, we have like really large titles, right, with hundreds of millions of downloads. It's not like any kind of niche games. Right. And for those publishers, we're typically the first touch point with crypto and NFTs, and they're really interested in that, also from a strategic angle, right? Because they can see that paying crypto rewards for playing these games can actually drive their main KPIs, like retention, like spend in the games, and so on, right? And now they're super interested to learn about NFTs as well. And now what we are offering is an engine that lets them issue NFTs through our infrastructure with actually no risk, with no, they don't have to do anything. They can just use the existing Womplay infrastructure, and we can just issue NFTs for their games right into our users' wallets, so they have their first exposure for NFTs or with NFTs, and our publishers can find out kind of how NFTs work, what they do, what they look like for users, where they can trade them, and especially like how that changes their KPIs, right? And that's very fascinating, and publishers love, and game studios love that, right? They all want to be exposed to NFTs somehow, but they don't know how and which technology to use and how you issue them and how much that costs and what happens if this blockchain that they chose isn't the right one, and all these kind of questions. And work with our infrastructure, we're able to abstract that from them and offer them a one-stop solution for kind of like all this crypto asset stuff, including both tokens and NFTs, which is very fascinating, and which is like driving a lot of our adoption right now.
No doubt, and yet y'all are in such a unique spot to be able to offer you NFTs to your publishers that are coming on. It's going to continue to evolve. You are also helping solve that initial hurdle of even your everyday consumer, your retail buyer, if you will, of NFTs, of having a quick way to access them, of like, oh, where do I even go to get one? Here you go, I can get one just through playing my game. And then through the developers and the publishers that are going out there, is like, oh, we can create our own just organically through our game. So as they collect them, now they are like more prized. They want to hold on to them. And there's a reason why they want to potentially have this thing appreciate in value over time, and other users would want to sell them or what have you. So the organicness of the ecosystem is already there. So it's like you're not really having to sell it as much. It's not as hard of a sell to show the value that's there. And I think that is extremely unique.
Yeah, and they can basically just try it out at no risk, right? They don't need to kind of technically integrate into our systems at all. We do all that, right? We do all that for Womplay already. And that's not hard, right? we can just build this crypto layer on top, and we're just deepening this crypto and blockchain layer on top of their games through offering NFTs. And I mean, gaming and NFTs is a very natural combination as well, right? And right now everybody loves them, and obviously, the hype is not gonna sustain just like that, and there's going to be ups and downs there. Everybody knows that, but it's a very cool spot to be in right now, to be able to offer these kinds of things.
For sure. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of great things going. Everyone listening, definitely make sure you go check out Spillworks. But Adrian, I have a couple other questions that I want to ask. And just being in this space as long as you have been, right, or at least having exposure to it since 2010. The crypto landscape has drastically changed in the first decade. And as we head into this second decade, as we look at 2021 right now, presently, a lot has already happened in this year. What are some things that are going on that you think others should be paying attention to?
I think that I mean, it's not a niche thing, and I'm not telling kind of any kind of secrets, but I think that anything that's going on in the DeFi space is going to be huge, right? And NFTs are also going to play a huge role in DeFi and in finance in general. There is no reason why NFTs should not be financial assets, right? So there's going to be a lot of works around NFTs as financial assets, and so the next 3 years are just going to be kind of building more infrastructure for that, and thereafter, once we've reached kind of mass adoption and people will be able to like swap tokens seamlessly and trade or use their NFTs as collateral and stuff, that's going to be awesome. And that is going to happen right from within the applications, right from within a game, let's say, right? And this is what I think everybody should be really excited about. And this is what everybody should be kind of pointing to and pointing out like how cool it's going to be. And also start using these things, right? Whoever is interested in that space should just try out what's out there and try out a little bit of DeFi, buy some NFTs or get some free drops and so on, and just start dealing with that stuff because it's so exciting.
No doubt. It's a brand new space where a lot of opportunity is going to be there, especially for people who get in early and get some of these like first generation applicable NFTs. But then also the other part that you brought there, I think is really unique, is where DeFi and NFTs meet, to where, just like you said, being able to use it as collateral. Like, there hasn't been a space really in a traditional sense where you could go get some like really, really like valuable baseball cards and then put them up as collateral to buy a thing. There might be, but they're in very unique situations, right? You have to go find a very established bank or a very established broker that would even like consider doing something like that. Whereas in the DeFi space, it's a lot more applicable and can be done. And it's cool to see how like all of these various aspects of crypto and blockchain are uniquely being just merged together to make a lot of these financial tools a reality for people and giving financial access to people who otherwise wouldn't have it, which I think is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and it's kind of all been there in the traditional space, in the physical space. I mean, we've even like there's been pawn shops, right? You can go put up your TV as a collateral to get a loan, right? But you can't do that with your virtual assets yet, and virtual assets are going to become more and more important, right? And ubiquitous. They're going to be everywhere. So, I mean, that thing is unstoppable. It's just an unstoppable train, and I'm really happy that we're all on it. And the most exciting stuff is still yet to come.
No doubt. And I'm excited to see it as well. So Adrian, you've been in the space for a while now. If you could take all of the knowledge that you have right now and impart wisdom to yourself when you first got started, what are 2 to 3 things you would tell yourself?
Buy more Bitcoin, for sure. Don't sell. Just, I mean, yeah, that's the most important thing, I believe. But also, I would probably tell myself to jump on this train full time much sooner, much earlier on, right? Especially when you have no or little risk with kind of no family, and these things change over time, obviously.
Right.
I should have jumped into it professionally earlier on, right? Or that would have been really great because the space is so exciting. It's kind of like the .com times or era, and I was too young back then, right? And here it would have been even more exciting to actually jump on the train even earlier.
For sure. And on that, so I use that analogy a lot, but something interesting that you brought up that I do want to spend some time on just for a quick second for the audience is we are giving you exposure to a lot of various speakers that come on the show that are working on amazing projects in the space. And there are all kinds of jobs and roles in this space. If crypto and blockchain is something that really sparks your interest and you have traditional skills in marketing and community building and finance and development, and you want to take your expertise and services into the crypto blockchain space, there's opportunities for you. So if you are looking for a career change, if you're looking for opportunities, if you like what you're seeing in the crypto blockchain space, look for opportunities. Go and find them. They're there, and it could literally change your life in a lot of good ways. So if that's kind of been tugging on you for a second, whoever's listening to this right now, I'm speaking to you. It might be worth taking that lunge to fully capitalize it. Just like Adrian said, like he wishes he got into it sooner. If something's pulling on you to try to just take the dive and get into the space, do it. Go ahead.
Just one thing that I wanted to add, because many people associate blockchain with kind of a very tech nerdy space, right? And it used to be, of course, but it's not like that anymore, right? So it's not just developers who we need in the space. We actually need a lot more people who have very traditional kind of skills, right? Not just like, I know how to program, I don't know, Solidity, right? There's a lot of Solidity developers, not enough for sure, but we also need a lot of great UX people, for instance. UX is still a problem in the blockchain space, right? We need great product people. We need people who know how to build businesses, right? We need people who know how to market stuff. Yeah, like you said, right? So all these kinds of things, all these kinds of skills, it will help to have more great people with great skills in the space. In all kinds of areas, and not just development, where it's kind of obvious that great developers should go there, right? But right. Everywhere else as well.
For sure, man. Well, definitely appreciate that. And a final question I kind of want to ask as we wrap up is, what is a final thought that you want to leave with all of our listeners here today?
Oh, that's hard. Just try it. I think whoever has heard of blockchain or crypto or Bitcoin or whatever, don't just watch or invest, but try it and use it. And just try it for yourself. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Just get a few cents, or I don't know, just go to Womplay, download a game, and you'll get a few cents worth of crypto that you can play with, right? And it's no risk. And just get a feeling for this experience. Just try out a little bit of DeFi, and it's so easy. It's so cool. There are so many cool things lying there. You don't have to do it on Ethereum, where every transaction costs $50, right? You can do it on EOS or on other blockchains where transactions are fractions of cents, and they're fast and simple. So just go and try that out and find out whether it's for you. If it's not for you, that's also fine, right? But you should actually just try it out for yourself before judging upon it, or also before maybe diving really deep into it and investing tens of thousands of dollars or whatnot, right? But really try it out. Play a few blockchain games. Like, just try it. It's really great.
For sure. For everyone listening, we talk about all the time, take action. We want to empower you with knowledge and opportunities that are out there, but it's then on you to go and take the step. And just like you said, try it out, go do something. You don't have to spend a lot of money, just get involved. So thank you so much for sharing that final thought and for all the information you shared with us today. But what are some ways that people can connect and learn more about you and learn more about everything that Spillworks has going on?
I think that LinkedIn, for myself personally, LinkedIn and Twitter are the best ways, or Telegram maybe. You can find me at Adrian Krion, so just my real name. It's everywhere. And if you want to find out about Womplay and Wombat, just go to womplay.io and sign up there. And this will also guide you to Wombat, or you can find Wombat at getwombat.io. or also follow us on Twitter. So we're everywhere. We're all over the place.
No doubt. And we'll make sure to share everything in the show notes as well. But of course, thank you again for all of your time, and for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent. Today's podcast is brought to you by Spillworks, gaming for tomorrow's web. Spillworks brings the benefits of blockchain to mass market gaming. True ownership of digital assets, secure handling of tokens, and comfortable interaction with exceptional blockchain games. They have produced Wombat, which is your one-stop EOS and Telos wallet. This wallet serves as a gateway to blockchain-based gaming, allowing users to find, play, and interact with blockchain applications and games available on EOS and Telos. For more information, go to getwombat.io. Again, that's getwombat.io.